All right, everybody. Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, good night to you. Whenever it is you tune in, hope all is going well for you. My name is Noah. With me, as always, is Trey,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and I'm introducing myself and us just in case anybody, any newcomers, decides to stick around for us. So, appreciate you guys tuning in whenever you can. This is going to be a very different thing from what we are used to, but it's not so different. So, this is a question that I've had in my head a long time, and I've never really had the means to like go about this live with everyone else until today. So this is asking the question, what is the best song you can find in a street game? Now, there's a couple of things to go about this. We have to look at all three games. We have to look at everything in the menu music. So if you remember, there's the in the first street game, you have not only the intro song before the game is booted up, which I can't include, and then you have the actual music that plays when you're playing the game itself, which I also cannot include because we have to establish the difference between regular music and OST or original soundtracks. So that might be its own separate thing, but for right now, we're going to listen to all the music that we can find in the game. So that's how we're deciding to go about this. Now, this, of course, is asking a small question in response to a much larger themed question of what is the best song you can find in a video game in general. If you want to go on that journey with me and Trey, go ahead and subscribe because we will continue that along with talking about other things, football related, not football related. So, what we have here and how we're going to do this is I have a bracket, a college basketball March Madness style bracket. If you're familiar with the channel Hive Mind, you would know that they do this kind of same thing, but they've never tackled this question. I don't think they will, and I don't think they're going to tackle the questions that we were going to answer anyways. So we're not copying them. We're just kind of using their resources as a means to answer our own questions. So we have that, and we have to ask ourselves a couple extra questions here, right? So, how are me and Trey going to judge this song? Well, for once, one thing, we're going to have our own personal preference attached to this. And then, second, we're going to ask the question, how well does it fit in the actual game itself? So, something that needs to be established is, well, which game are we referring to? Because there's instances in which a song can appear in multiple games. We will get to that a little bit later, but as of right now, we don't have to worry about that. Lastly, I need to let you guys know that I won't actually be playing any of the songs itself on the stream. So feel free to look this up on your own time. If you want to listen to all the songs that we're going to talk about today, I have the link in the description for you, as well as any means of supporting us. So, without further ado, I introduce everybody to this NFL Street soundtrack bracket. Like I said, this covers all three games, 50 songs long. But as you can see, the bracket is a bit wonky. So we need to remove two songs in order to have an even 48 for distribution. Now, we just have two songs to eliminate. So, Trey, I will let you be the first one to eliminate a song that you think won't win this bracket.
Hmm. Now, I would also like to say before I do this, NFL Street, I think, is the only game series where they had multiple songs that went in multiple games. Never really seen that before. But hmm, let's see. Because NFL Street did they had a couple of bad songs, but I'd say about 90% of the songs they put in were good. Now, is this me going off of memory from when I used to play years ago? Yes, it is. But who cares? Um, let's go. Hmm, let's go. Let's just look at the. Yeah, yeah. Scroll down a tad bit more. Um, let's say, let's go about Good Charlotte. Hmm. Actually, let me think about that. Let me think about that. Yeah, let's go about Good Charlotte.
Okay. Well, one little thing to know about this song. I think this was one that was like particularly established for the game itself for the first NFL Street game. There's a
Hmm.
couple other like exclusive songs that we're gonna take a look at. Uh,
Yeah,
I want to
I've
say
seen.
like this collaboration between Good Charlotte and the Executioners, because the Executioners, if you haven't realized, they made all the background music that you actually play in the first Street game,
Now that I did not know.
and that's why they have their own character models and they have their own team in the game too. It's a secret cheat code.
This is making me want to go back in time, grab my GameCube, and start playing this game again. Those were the
Yeah,
good old
it's
days, man.
so if we're eliminating Let's Go by Good Charlotte, which I uh, I actually like the song, but I'm not afraid to remove it from the list. So, Good Charlotte, let's go. I think you're about like a good 8 out of 10 song in terms of like a enjoyable experience. Trey, why did you eliminate that one?
To me, now I try to keep my music tastes very diverse. My music tastes, well, my playlist, which is very long, has like a good mix of like different songs in it. So you can go from like rap to slow to kind of like R&B. So it's just a lot of songs in there that you can like relate to, or like people could relate to. That song right there, it kind of off of first listen, I was like, that's probably like a solid six, maybe five. Now I don't know why, because it is. Now I will say, there has been hundreds of songs that I listened to the first time and then listened to them by mistake, maybe, or that my playlist was just ended, so it just started playing random stuff, and I kind of listened to it again, and I was like, okay, that song's good. So maybe that would be a song that would if I listen to
Kind
it
of grow on you.
again, yeah.
I do think that that song is very welcome in the game itself too. Uh, but it's not welcome on our soundtrack anymore. Now, from my side of things, I have a good familiarity with not only every game, but every kind of genre in some degree. I'm a big fan of music. I love a lot of different stuff, and I hope that this is a reflection of that, even if just a small bit. Um, which is why it's very painful for me to have to like remove songs as we go about this. Now, there's a couple things that I also want to take care of before we, get into other things. I showed Trey a playlist of everything, but not every song in that playlist that I showed him is a fair representation of what you can find in the actual game. Some of them are, some of them are not, which means that some of them or the explicit extended versions, and then some of them were like the cut down censored versions and all that kind of stuff. So you had a mixed bag of like what was available and what wasn't fully. Uh, So I just wanted to let him know that. Uh, so that means that if we're going to go and remove one other song. Okay, let me ask you this real quick, Trey. If you had to narrow your music taste down to one genre, what would it be?
Real. Probably rap. Probably rap because that's what 60%. Hold on.
Okay, so his answer is rap. My answer would actually be metal or just rock in general.
I could rock with that too.
Um, which is why it allowed me to have a good expansion of taste along with rap and stuff, and why like fusions of both were always really fascinating to me. Uh, which means that if you're gonna be a rock song, then you got to be really good. Which means if you're gonna be a rap song, you're also gonna have to be really good. And if you're a mix of both, you have to be fantastic. Uh, but that, of course, helped me to shape everything else that I like and maybe don't like about the music taste. Which is why Acetone, Scarred, I have never really seen a song like this where it got like pretty much no attention and no love from the games. Like the maximum listens that I saw throughout was like 1,000. Like everything else is like 10,000s, 100,000s, millions of listens. And that one has like 1K. There's almost no following for that song. And the fact that the whole thing is about like the the band members or whatever like wanting to be respected, and I'm sorry, but you're just not. So I'm gonna randomize this bracket a little bit more. I'm hoping that it'll shape itself up because we gave itself 48 things. So why isn't it saving and adjusting? Come on now. Let's go ahead and save. I have to tune it like that. Why is it still wonky?
Because technology doesn't like us, man. I thought you would have noticed that over 2 years. When have we ever got just
This is the
straight?
first time with this double eliminate, no, single elimination. Maybe I gotta start the tournament, man. Alright, we'll just go ahead and do that then. Alright. So round one. We have DJ K Slay, 3-6 Mafia, and a couple other folks with the song Who Gives a What Where You're From. And we have Mace. I want to say it's short for Mason. And then Breathe, Stretch, Shake featuring P. Diddy.
Mace with MASE.
Yeah.
Huh. All right. So now I know I listened to the first song because my dad listens to a lot of like old school songs or like early 2000s, 80s, 90s songs. So I've heard this song a couple of times. Mace, I'm pretty sure yeah, I've heard the song too. Now, I'm not gonna be biased with the taste that I have, and that just not for like because I know it doesn't really go for this category right here, but just for the rest of the categories. You know, if it's like a rap song versus R&B or not R&B, but like a rap versus a metal, or a rap versus like a slower rap song. I'm gonna be less biased. I'm not gonna be biased at all. Um, hmm. For me, because this is probably the closest one it's gonna be for the first round, as in like which one I like better. But if I had to go with one, I would go with DJ K Slay.
All right. I certainly think that that song fits NFL Street like a glove
Pretty
because
much.
if you like go back to the lyrics, the hook actually mentions about 20 different states and cities in it that have NFL teams. And I think that was intentional, right? And also there's two different versions. There is the NFL Street version, which like talks about, you know, and we're running with EA Sports and all that kind of stuff. So I think that that was like another one that they kind of like, hey, could you adjust your lyrics and then we'll put you in the game. DJ Caseley is also another person that has his own team, his own character model in the first Street game too. So the Executioners and DJ Caseley get uh, that privilege to be a part of the game for pretty much forever, which is always nice. So that is perfectly understandable as to why that's a good selection there. Moving over to Mace, I love this song. I love Breathe Stretch Shake. I think it's got such a good bounce to it throughout. Um, I want to say Diddy's the one that sings the third verse, uh, which is
Was
like my
it?
favorite
Oh,
one.
this,
What were you saying?
was was it? No, no, you're right. Yeah, that was the third verse. I think I was thinking about a whole different song with him in it. Yeah, yeah, I was. I was. I don't
Mm.
know why. Because you know the whole allegations and everything. But continue.
Yeah. Okay. That you brought up another you brought up another good thing here too. We have to separate the art from the artist.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I I and here's the thing, because there is a group in here amongst this actual series that I know like the history behind this group, and I actively hate this member with a burning passion because of the awful stuff that they did. But I have to remove the art from the artist, because if I were to do that with that one, and then it turns out that there's other people have problems with, then this whole idea won't actually ever be off the ground. So I can't do the background research on everything and be like, oh, hey, well, how come this artist wouldn't be a part of it? Oh, it was because of this, and this problem. I was like, no, I just want to listen to the music. Like, so it will be difficult for me when I go back to it. But I didn't let Trey know who I'm talking about. I'm not going to let you guys know who I'm talking about. I just know it, and so because of that, I will try my best to separate it, and that way it won't be obvious. So for me, I would actually want to go with Bree Stretch Deck here. So that means that we have our very first disagreement, um, which I don't mind taking this song off and putting it on our own playlist. Now, I didn't let you guys know this, but if we like a song, but we don't think it's going to save and win this bracket for other reasons, maybe it had like a bad matchup or something or whatever, right? We can save it on our own personal playlist, which I will have off screen to keep track of. Now, this will be throughout the entire series, however games and however many songs that we come across, we will have this playlist on hand, and there is a set number as to how many songs that we can save. And that set number for both of us is 32 songs. The reason it's 32 is because we need to make a bracket out of that later on. And that's the maximum size on which I can do it on this website. So, if you want to let K-Slay win here, move on to the next round, I'm perfectly fine with that because I really like Bree Stretch Straight. So how do you feel about that?
Mm, I can go with it. I can go with it.
All right, then. Let me just go this. Because Restretch Shake, I like it. I just don't think that it's going to win the bracket. Like, I don't think it's the best one of the Street 2 games.
I ain't gonna lie.
So
I think
that'll be
Streak Two.
that.
I think Streak Two might have probably had the best playlist out of all three. Maybe.
All right, then.
I don't
Let's move on to our
know.
next. What are we saying?
So I don't know how other people feel about that, but for me, I think probably it's like a nearly a tie, but Street Two would probably give it to me over three as far as the playlist is concerned.
Yeah, like I said, Street 2 has a bigger selection amongst the 3 games. I think that's the only one that has over 20 songs. So the
And that's
variety is there, but also that's why it's going to be harder to figure out like what's the best Street 2 song out of all of them versus like what's the best one overall. Speaking of which, we have a Street 2 song right here, Triple Six Pray For Me versus Stone Sour 303150.
I'm not gonna lie. I listened to Pray For Me, I think twice. It may have been I'm not for sure it was one. It may have been twice. Um I wasn't really rocking with the song. That like I said, Street 2 probably it has the best kind of like playlist, but it's like two songs, maybe three songs out of the bunch that I just like I can't rock with it. So for me this will probably be 30, 150. Yeah.
Do you know 313150? Was that one that you listened to?
It might have been. I don't know. I have to go search. Let me go look at this playlist again because it should be on my YouTube. Oh wait,
Because
actually,
303150 is what?
I have a computer for a reason with Discord on it. I don't know why I'm using my phone. Slide up.
Because 303150 is from the Third Street game. It's I want to say it's one of the first ones that you'll probably listen to just off of randomization. Uh, and it's a metal song, which, all right, that gives it a green check for me. This singer is Corey Taylor, which is from Slipknot, in which he had his own side project, which is Stone Sour. And him, and I want to say Jim Root, the other guitarist from Slipknot, like joined him to make Stone Sour. So that's why you'll hear like a good amount of Slipknot within them. And Slipknot was one of my favorite bands growing up. So to see Stone Sour here in the game represented and with a good track like this, I have no problem letting this win this bracket right here. Or like, winning this round at least.
Yeah.
So if we're good with that, I'm going to let 3150 win. All right, next round. You have Royce to 5'9" with Can't Nobody Stop Me versus MLP with Ground Zero. Ooh.
Ground Zero.
Ooh,
I'm sorry.
really?
I got to take Ground Zero right here.
Okay. Explain yourself.
I like the beat more. And I'm really like a big beat person with songs. Like there's like a lot of songs that I like. I may not like the rapping part or rapping singing part, but I just love the beat and how they kind of mix with it. Most of the songs, I'll be like, okay, I'll listen to it. I'll add it to it. This song right here, I like the beat of it. I just it connects to me more than Nobody Can Stop Me. I don't know why that is because
I get why. I
yeah,
think that if you listen to the voice, the beat background does feel bland. Like Royce can just go on his own. Like you can just go with like straight up acapella Royce and be perfectly fine. But right here, this stage of Royce, I still really appreciate him as a rapper. But this was not his best song. It works for the actual like game. Don't get me
Yeah,
wrong,
most
but
definitely.
just outside of it, there's definitely better Royce stuff, which is why it's painful to like let him go here. But like you said, I love Ground Zero too. Because like I said, like I love like the rap and rock mixes that it provides. So yeah, it's a very hype song. I think Ground Zero was the trailer music for Street 2.
I'd have to go look. I could go
So when
look
they
at them.
introduced the release of it, I want to say it was that one. So Ground Zero, be right here, yo. That was very cringe. All right, Graph with I Don't Care, and Nas with Disciple.
Mm, hmm. Would you say this one is almost as tough as the last one?
Oh, I have such good memories with Graph song, and I really grew to appreciate Disciple. So yeah, it is really tough for me too.
Because Nas, I've heard a couple of Nas songs before. Um, some features, some of his own. Um, hmm. This is probably the toughest one so far.
Yeah, welcome to the
Hmm.
stream. Welcome to this idea, and we're only round one, so
Um, I'm gonna go with Disciple. Yeah, yeah.
okay. Ooh. Now with Graph, when I was listening to the lyrics, some of it can take you out of it sometimes, but I think it overall like okay, if we're going off of beat like you mentioned before, I Don't Care blows Disciple out of the water. Like I don't care what Graph says. Like I just can't not bounce to that song whenever I hear it. But that beat like doesn't really change throughout the set and throughout the rest of the song. Like it's just the one beat. Like again, you'll love, but that's it. Like there's no other change. So like if we go back to like I said about Can't Nobody Stop Me, like it's the same beat like throughout the entire thing. And sometimes that doesn't really help you. Uh Nas, I really like his verses. I really like in the second verse where he starts like Paul, Michael, and Matthew, Philip, James, and Andrew, or like you know those ones like that. Uh, man, I did not think that I would eliminate I Don't Care this early.
It's just
But
the
we're
way
gonna
to
do
say
it. I'm gonna agree. I'm gonna sew with the Disciple. I could save I Don't Care, but I won't. Very painful thing, but we only have so many slots to kind of pile up on our playlist, and I don't want to flood it with one thing. So, all right, 14 and 15. Planet Asia with Move, and then Killer Mike with Rap is Dead.
Um, meh, I'm gonna go with Rap is Dead because I feel like it fits the game more. I love Move. I love Move, but I feel like Rap is Dead fits the game more.
Yeah, I can definitely get behind that. Planet Asia was the one where it's like I have like this song I kept forgetting existed.
There's
I
a lot
was
of
trying to
songs
make
like
a
that.
playlist for Street 2 and there was always like the wait a minute, like I feel like I'm missing something here. And it was regularly this song. So I just think that because Street 2 has a lot of different rap songs, it can kind of oversaturate you at times. And this one just doesn't stand out amongst its own song or like amongst its own game. Killer Mike, like you said, like that one fits really well. I love the attitude that it has. Um, so yeah, I got no problem with going with this one. Okay, we have Ray Cash bumping my music featuring Megadeth, Symphony of Destruction, the Fear Factory remix. I'm gonna go first on this one because this is both. These are two NFL Street 3 songs. Now, people love the first game, people love the second game. People probably don't even know about the third game, or they actively like dislike it. They think it's the worst one. They think it killed the series and all that kind of stuff. Look, I love all three games. And one of the biggest reasons as to why I love all three games is the soundtrack that the third one provides as well. With this one, I always appreciated bumping my music. And then I found out later on that there was an extended version of this with Scarface is his name. Um, and he brought another different kind of attitude to the song, which it was very like abrupt of a change when you listen to it. But it was like, all right, yeah, cool. I can get behind this. I think this one fits the third game a little bit more than Symphony of Destruction. I don't know what it is about this one. I love Megadeth. I love Fear Factory. I've only been to one concert as a kid, and it was to a Fear Factory one because I love them so much. Uh, like I think their discography even holds up right now. If you're familiar with them at all, then I salute you as a fan of this one. Uh, but it pains me that every now and then Fear Factory will give you a remix that is just not them. I listen to this song and it's not them at all. Like I don't know what it is. There's better Symphony of Destruction remixes out there. Uh, there's better Fear Factory stuff. There's better Megadeth stuff. It's just not a good representation of that. There's not a good representation in the game. I'm gonna go with bumping my music. But Trey, what did you have to say?
I'm going to be honest with you. We could pick either one of these songs, and it's still not going over. It's going down. I'm just being honest with you. But I do like bumping my music more. I don't think I heard it's SOD.
Yeah,
I don't think
yeah.
I
I don't
may
think I.
have. But the way you just described it, and I kind of the one thing I hate with some artists is that they try to make a song that is nowhere near what they like are good at. Like if you are a artist that makes it 80% or 90% of your good songs are you making like you're rapping but it's kind of slower, then continue that. Don't try to rap like what's one don't try to rap like Gunna when you rap like half of future songs or slow songs. Let's say that. So after your great um um representation of that song and giving me the facts I needed to know, I'm gonna take bumping my music so they can make it to at least round two. Even though they're gonna lose round two, they can still make it to round two.
Well, I can make a case for that then too. Um, so yeah, like if you want an idea of who Fear Factory is, I will give you one song, and it's called "Shock." It's off their Obsolete album.
Okay.
Absolute legendary music. Like I said, I listened to that as a kid. I was like 6, maybe 7 years old when I went to their concert, and it still like rattles my bones listening to that live version of that song. Okay, We have No Warning with Breeding Insanity and Acceptance with In Too Far. Both songs from Street 2.
I'm not gonna lie. I like both of these songs. Those are two songs I think I used to listen to a lot. Or me, well, I usually would let my cousin do all the music things. Sometimes we play it off the speaker. Sometimes we listen. Well, most of the time we listen to just the music off the game. I like both of these songs. I still do. Um, for me though, In Too Far kind of just touched me more as a music person, and I kind of feel like it may not fit the game as far as No Warning song does, but it still kind of fits the game to where it needs to. So for me, I'm gonna have to go with In Too Far.
I love the hook that In Too Far has. You know, that I've been thinking, take me now, I'm in too far. Acceptance always knew how to like write a good hook, right? There's another song that I found from them in another game. I really want to go into that series so I can talk about that one and praise that one a lot, because it gave me a chance to go back to this one and then appreciate this one again. Uh, I, like you said, I do have an appreciation for both of these songs, but In Too Far does take it for me here. Uh, so yeah, nothing really going on over here. Then we have SX10 featuring Sendong with Speed Freak, and in Sum 41 with No Reason. This is the easiest one so far.
I'm gonna let. I feel like we're on the same page. I feel like we're on the same page, but I want to see what you say first.
It is Sum
Because
41 with No Reason.
yeah, I was like, I don't know that song. The one, it No Reason kind of fits the game better. Two, I kind of just I bump more to it. Like, you have songs that you can like put on in your car, or you turn the speaker on. And I don't know if you did homework with music on, but I do a lot. So
Oh yeah,
turn it on with some music on, get in the shower with it. Like, that's what I can bump to, man. I needed that. And that song right there is just kind of it overall, I love the song, but it to be honest, it does fit the game better than
I
Speed
was
Freak.
listening to kind of a music critic give a listen to the album, and then No Reason is the first song on that album, and they were like, "Man, I really want to do something while listening to this." And it's like, dude, if you want to do something, play Street 2 with this background. Speed Freak, I have no idea how it ended up in the third game. I'm gonna be honest. Like,
It just kind of never seemed like it fit.
no, it nothing wrong with them as like people and stuff, but it's
Yeah.
just weird fit for this kind of song. Um, Speed Freak would probably work in like a racing game. I just don't know what game that would be, because racing games will have their own kind of vibe that they advertise to you. Um, but I just feel like this belongs in a racing game, like Speed Freak, only for it to be in a game in which like the main complaint about it was that like the players and stuff felt slow. Like, yeah, that's very insulting to the game actually. So I'm gonna go with No Reason. I have many different reasons as to why this continues though. All right, now we have MLP with Put It in the Air and in Wild Bunch Our Life.
This is probably the oh man. Man, oh man.
We have two Mashup Posse songs in this bracket. We have two Wild Bunch songs in this bracket.
I want to see what song I like better from these two songs right here. Give me 5 seconds and then I'm gonna blurt out my answer.
Okay.
Wildlife. I mean, Our Life. gonna say Our Life.
Yeah, I would say that this matchup, I want to say that Put It in the Air might be on par with Ground Zero. Uh, and then Wild Bunch is probably like Our Life is probably like the best one of the Wild Bunch songs. So this is like two like powerhouses going at it right here.
True.
I do agree that Wildlife would continue though, because we already have Ground Zero moving on, right?
Yeah.
I think so. Let it continue. Yeah, right there. Okay. So yeah, I'm fine with letting this one go. All right, now we have Mastodon with The Wolf is Loose and Executioners with Get With It.
Get with it.
Like, okay, I will say this much about The Wolf is Loose. The intro drum solo is awesome. The rest of the song, you can kind of tune in and back out of it every now and then. Like I remember listening to the song like a lot, playing this third game, and I would kind of forget that I'm listening to anything, which is really tough to do, considering that like the music is supposed to complement your experience and whatever that is that you're doing, and for me to forget about it completely, it really, I don't know what's going on. Like I love metal. Mastodon, pretty solid band throughout, long career. And like I said, I love the intro. Like it got me hooked into it right away. It just didn't keep me though. Get With It, I agree. It perfectly fits the first game. So I got no problem going that one in. I mean, like I said, Executioners was like a big problem. Or it was like a big part of like why most people enjoy the game to begin with. So got to show them love. All right. Now we have KMFDM with Free Your Hate, and then Korn featuring them Franchise Boys with Coming Undone with It. Now, again, two songs from the Third Street game. Again, probably the easiest one to just win out.
Coming Undone with It.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not even close. This one is what I remember so much about the third game. Like I said, Korn is found in a lot of different games. Korn is found in the first game. It wasn't found in the second game, but it was brought back in the third game with this remix and what we just said about like loving that metal to rap mashup. You get that her perfectly. Because I think Coming Undone was like one of Korn's best songs. And then Lean With It, Rock With It is probably like the most 2006 song of your life. If it wasn't for like Soulja Boy, you know?
Yeah.
But Free Your Hate, I don't know what is going on with it. It's like a 5-minute track. I kind of liken it to almost exercise music, and it's supposed to be like a revolution starting, like, you know, like protesting and all that kind of stuff. Like it's got a lot going on, but not enough to compete with this one. So again, no problem going with this one. Speaking of Korn, and speaking of Nas, wow, we have Korn featuring Nas with Play Me, and then Bravehearts featuring Nas and Lil Jon with Quick to Back Down.
Now, both of these songs fit their games, mostly.
It's the same game.
Yeah, yeah.
Now, what I will say is that Quick to Back Down, when you listen to it in the first Street game, it doesn't give you anything that they're actually saying. It is just a straight up instrumental in which you just hear the hook again every now and then. If you decide to listen to the lyrics, I have no idea how they thought it was a good idea to let this in a game, much less a rated E for everyone kind of game.
maybe maybe they were just like, we don't have a lot of little, like, maybe they was the
And
thought
again,
process that they just
Play Me
have a lot
has
of little.
Play Me has a couple of things where it's like, what is Nas saying here? Like the end of the first verse, I'm like, what?
Rappers do that from time to time. You ever notice that, like, there's a lot of songs where the verse is going good and you're like, wait, what? Like,
I just
well,
say like
why
the most
is
out of pocket stuff.
we didn't need to know that, like, or want to know that, or both, you know.
So
Um,
where are you leaning here towards? Because I mean, technically this is a rap song, like both of them are.
yeah, it's just
You know how I
one
feel about
has a lot
Corn.
of
You know how I feel about.
music. Yeah. Um, I'm not gonna lie, Corn has probably been a dominant factor in this. I'm probably gonna go with Play Me. He's been a dominant.
Yeah, I'm gonna say that Corn saves this song. If
Probably.
there's any indication, which like Nas will just kind of like rap about something where it's like, oh, okay, well, and then let me hear more Corn, please, and then that's like the second half of the song. So really fun there. Um, Quick to Back Down. It's like I said, it's pretty much just an instrumental, which is really confusing. It's not a
Maybe
representation of anybody of the brain parts, so it's kind of it's really weird. What were you saying?
maybe they were just like, you know what? At this point, what do we have to lose? It's a song. What's a song gonna do?
Well, oh no, Hate Breed with the Fetus and in Drowning Pool with Step Up. Oh no, two metal songs that just. Ooh, okay. Well, I want to hear your thoughts on this first. I don't know if you've listened to both of these.
I'm pretty sure I've only listened to Step Up because I don't really listen to a lot of metal rock songs. I listen to a couple. Listen to a couple. Got a couple in my playlist. Um, before I choose this, I want to hear your opinion on the Hate Breed song.
So you know how I talked about the Mastodon song with like the opening intro?
Yeah.
Defeatist, um, it has a very long intro when you separate it from the actual game. It's got like 40 seconds or it's just like garbled nothing and then like brings up to a scream. Um, but both of these songs, they get you right into it. Um, and Defeatist ends on an amazing ending. It's just a straight up breakdown. Really aggressive, really awesome to hear. Step Up doesn't have that, but it's got like a solo and stuff. It's got other things to really kind of hook you in. Man, The Fetus is like one of my favorite songs from the Third Street game. Um, Step Up is one of my favorite songs from the Second Street game. Uh, but then I see this right here, unfortunately, and I'm like, yeah, it doesn't matter anymore. Both of these I could either save, I can either let go. They're not they're not beating this one out. That's all I'm gonna say.
We are. I think with two of the following in round two. What was it?
So what would you
Because
say?
it was. I I'd probably still go with Step Up. I just kind of there's not a lot of rock songs that I like, but the ones that I do just kind of catch my attention and they and Step Up. So I probably have to go with Step Up.
I would just say listen to Defeatist as well, uh, because
Okay.
from my experience, it will pretty much do the same thing, which is why it's like almost splitting hairs between these songs. Fun fact: the singer of Hatebreed actually ran a show on MTV I think it was MTV, called Headbangers Balls. And I would listen to that every now and then, or just watch that show. They would talk about a lot of up and coming metal artists and stuff. So it was really cool to see. Um,
I like
so again,
when
love that.
I like when older rappers or like kind of older artists do that for the up and coming people and give them attention and everything. Really helps out.
Yeah, they showed me a lot of different artists. I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna pay attention to them. So love that. But if you want to go ahead and with a step up, got no problems with that as well. Because unfortunately, they both have no chance with that. All right, next one: Exhibit with Hey Now or Mean Muggin, and then BG with Getting Mines.
Um, I feel like Getting Mines fits the game better, so I'm gonna go with that one. They're both good
Okay,
songs.
you want to talk about fitting the game better? Exhibit is literally the boss guy of Street 2.
What he is.
Yes.
Wait. Let me think. Let me think. 'Cause I haven't played
If you
this
go to
game in
Own the
like.
City and you flame the final chapter, you face him and his team.
Oh, was that? I feel like we were talking about this person before we went live because you said it was a couple people that like had their exclusive songs in the game and it had their
Getting
own teams.
Mines, yeah, Getting Mines has that's a Street 3 exclusive.
Yeah,
Hey Now is not.
it just
Hey
he
Now's got a
just
whole
has his
like
own.
music video and stuff with him like
Okay.
running away from a cop car.
Oh, I always wonder what. We'll talk about that later. Um, but he does have his own team, is what you're saying.
Yeah,
In the
like
game. Okay.
he is one of the poster child for the second game, and I love Getting Mines too. I think it's got a really nice bop to it. Uh, but I mean, the energy that Exhibit brings here, it is so 2004, and I love it for that. So I'd actually have to go with Hey Now.
You know, now I hate
Now you
changing.
could save either one of these songs.
I'm gonna save Gen mine, but I think for you to have your own team in the game kind of tells me all I need to know.
All right, so you save Getting Mines, which means Hey Now will continue. All right, now we have Rob Zombie with American Witch and a Jack Frost with This Man, another exclusive song.
Now, have you ever heard any bad exclusive songs or any video game?
Um, sure. I won't name who though.
Um, hmm. I'm gonna say
I think this
American
matchup is
Witch.
really easy. Really?
Okay, let's say American Witch.
Wow.
I don't know. It's like a couple of exclusive songs that not teams, that games have just don't really like. They hit me, but they don't. You know,
And that's what this man did?
kinda, kinda.
Really?
Yes.
This is like a really weird experience because like you're a you're more of a rap fan and you side with Rob Zombie. I'm the metal fan and I heavily side towards Jack Frost here.
I don't know, cause now there's a metal song that I have in my playlist is called Heathens. It was a Suicide Squad movie.
From
That's
21 Pilots?
yes, yes,
That is not
yes.
metal.
Okay, it's almost. It nearly counts. I just like the drums and the singing and the kind of craziness to it that it adds. Because that song perfectly fit. Well, it more. Well, yeah, it kind of perfectly fit for what the movie was mostly about. Um,
Sure, despite it being a terrible movie.
yeah, yeah. That I wouldn't say terrible. It was just like the you didn't really get any build up. It just went okay. You introduced the bad guys. Okay, now you have a alien uh
Let's
ancestry
just say
looking
there was a
thing.
there was a really good number of reasons as to why they had a remake of that movie
Yeah,
with the
yeah. Let's
Suicide
say that.
Squad.
Let's say that.
I would prefer that one over the original anytime. But how does that apply here with American Witch?
I don't know. It just there are some songs because don't get me wrong. This man isn't a. It's not a bad song. Well, I wouldn't say bad. It's not a terrible song. It's just not a song that I really can rock with. Now I'm pretty sure I've only listened to both of these songs once or twice. I'm 90% sure on that. It's just sometimes you got to be different, man. Sometimes you got to be different. You got to switch your taste up. And I said I wouldn't be biased, and I kind of just like American Witch more. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Wow. Of all the things that I would have thought about having to save, I did not think this man was going to be one of them. But that's exactly what I'm going to do here. But hey, I'll take the differing opinion. That's why we're both doing this and not just me only. So I'm going to save this man. I'm going to let American Witch go. Move on over here, and now we have, I think, the last thing for the first round. From first to last, the latest plague with the Atticus remix, and then red tape with damage control.
I'm gonna let you take this one first.
Okay. Um, you know how I said that there was like a couple songs in which I was trying to do a playlist of Street 2 and like always kind of forgetting a song or two?
Yeah.
Damage control was the other song I just kept forgetting. I don't know why. Um, honestly, if if the actual women's faction called Damage Control on SmackDown or whatever, if they want to use this as their entrance music, I am perfectly okay with it because it fits them too. But from first to last, the latest plague. Do you know who the singer is?
No, but I might have heard of them.
It is good old Sonny.
Think I've heard of them.
Sorry, Skrillex.
Skrillex.
Yep,
Okay,
Sonny
don't think
himself
I heard
is the singer from first to last. He was like a late teenager at the time in which this was made.
so he's kind of not old, but he's in like his what?
I'd say about 30s now, early
Yeah,
30s.
early 30s. Yeah.
So yeah, I'm a big fan of dubstep. Um, I I'd never really actually liked Skrillex at the time. I mean, I'm opened up to him now, but I just thought that his sound and connection with what else got me into the genre was not the same stuff. Um, but that also means that I get to flex on a couple of dubstep fans and be like, yeah, I was listening to Sunny way before you guys were because I was listening from first to last thanks to the third NFL Street game. Um, so yeah, I'm gonna go with the latest plague here.
I'm not gonna lie. Red Damage is one of those songs that I talked about earlier that like if I listen to it again, it probably grows on me. And I just didn't really like it the first time or two that I listened to
Now,
it.
the song itself is actually kind of short, so
Yeah. It doesn't really help.
it doesn't
That's
give
the
you
thing.
any time to linger.
Yeah, because that's the thing with some songs. It's like they're so short. They're like 2 minutes, maybe 2.5 minutes long to where you're like, well, how was I supposed to grow to this? You know? Like how was this song supposed to grow on me? So even
Yeah.
though I haven't really heard the latest Blade, it sounds like a good song, and I'm gonna let it go to round two.
Plus, I this was one of those songs in which I always remember about the game, from the third one.
Yeah.
I think the remix is really good. I think the original song is also really good. It's a lot slower, um, but yeah, I'm perfectly okay with this. Now let's go up and talk about the next round of elimination. Before we do, time for Trey's cup of Gatorade. He just did this before we got on here and made this,
Literally right
but
before.
this is something that he had to do thanks to a challenge. He did not have the same ingredients in which I did before live, so he improvised. And well, we're gonna listen to it now. It's about 3 minutes. I'm not editing this. He didn't edit this, so you we are gonna ride and die together with this one. All right, here it is. So how does it feel?
Um, Tasted pretty disgusting. I'm gonna be honest with you. Um, Never ever doing that again. And yeah,
It's about all you needed to say.
yeah, pretty much, pretty much.
All right, now it's time for round two's elimination sequence. Here we have the Xyz with Slow Drain, and then going back to DJ K-Slay. Who gives a what were you from?
Going with DJ. Going with DJ. I think it's kind of like one of my favorites from the games. To be honest, I don't know why. Maybe I don't know. It's just sometimes you just have that certain song on games or on a video game that you just kind of just like you have to listen to, and that's one of those songs. It also probably will be a song I listen to before I go play an actual like football game. So
Oh, I can get behind that. I really like Slow Drain too. If you want to talk about build-ups, I think Slow Drain has like one of the best build-ups. Um, I like the solo here. I just think that I like the hook. I don't know. Something about the verses just doesn't get to me.
like the beat
So
kind of helps it, but it's not like the verses are helping themselves.
I don't know. I just can't put it in the same category like the other things that I like about the song. So if I had to give a little gripe about it, um, I like most things that it does. It kind of surprised me of like how good of a rock song this is. Um, but I think that there's other rock songs in Street 2 that I would like a little bit more here. But we'll see how it is when we get to it. As of right now, like we said before, DJ K-Slay, I think he fits the song really well, as well as everyone else that's a part of it. So, going with that. Now we have Stone Sour 30-30-150 with Yin Yang Twins halftime, or stand up and get crunk.
Probably going with halftime on this. It's kind of like
This is
it.
where
I
I
don't
gotta
know.
bring.
I don't know. It's kind of like it's like choose your preference, but also like they're both two good songs, and that's kind of what this whole round two is going to be like, especially with round three. But yeah, I would probably put I don't know because 30-30-150. Uh, I'm gonna go halftime.
This is where I gotta bring in my Stone Sour stuff. First off, halftime was the song in which I couldn't ever get into. I think the hook is fine. Um, I think I hear it a little bit too much. Um, the beat, like the pace of the song is really slow, and that was like kind of weird. I
Uh,
always remember it being faster than what it normally is.
Shit, the
Um,
man spit it in the
and then it
game.
has like the actual halftime thing. Now, yeah, is this isn't in the game, uh, but there is like a a good like 20 to 30 section in which it's like a club thing. I don't know what's going on. I never liked that part of the song. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
it's kind of always like, why would you
such
put
a
that in the
weird
song?
moment. It is okay. Here's what I'll say. It's very 2004 in like the worst way possible for me. 30-30-150 still holds up as a metal song right now. I can't say the same for Yin Yang Twins here.
Do you now 30 31 50? Now, I don't know if you're a big fan of Transformers like I am. I think I've watched every one of those movies about at least 15 times. Um, would you think they could put that song in those type of movies? Because if you can put it in Street, you can most likely put it in Transformers. I think I've noticed that a lot, or it kind of goes with it.
Uh, yes and no. I would say yeah, because it's got a lot of energy in it, like I said. Um, no, because of what the song itself represents. Like it's not very generic enough for a Transformers kind of song. It's got all the action that you want, but for however Transformers is like in a cinematic sense, they much they much likely go for slower kind of rock songs to give you that atmosphere for the track. This one doesn't give you the time to do that because it's like really fast almost all of like the song is really fast all the time, which I love that part of it. Maybe you could do like the solo and like the breakdown afterwards. Uh so you can take certain chunks of it and put it into a Transformer song if that's what you really want to do. Um but like if you want like a verse or a chorus, not the best for that thing, but that's more of like a Transformers problem than a Stone Sour problem here.
Yeah, it is a rock. Well, actually, I want to see if you would count this as a rock song because I put this in my playlist. Um, it's
I
called
would
Battle
rather
Cry.
have you. What were you saying?
It's called Battle Cry by Imagine Dragons.
Possibly. Imagine Dragons is very like rock popish. Um, in a lot of ways, they're kind of like the 2010s Nickelback for me. Now, my cousin, like his favorite band is Imagine Dragons. Like he thinks that every single one of their songs is like a hit to him. Like he likes all of them. I am not my cousin, so I have a differing opinion. I have a couple songs that I do like from them, but they're not as often. Battle Cry seems like it would be more of a rock song than a pop song that would just try to make its way onto the radio. Uh, but since I've never heard of it, I can't tell you. I just know that 30 with 3150 would blow that one out of the water because they're not rock enough to keep up with a guy like Stone Sour. So would you want to? Because I like I'm not differing from this one, and I don't think that you're gonna differ from this one. So do you want to save this one?
Um, yeah, yeah.
All right. So with that save, we're letting 30 3150 pass. All right. So now we have Lost Profits with Lost Tree and Home or Last Tree and Home, and then we have MLP with Ground Zero.
I'm taking Ground Zero. I'm sorry. I'm taking Ground Zero.
I don't think you have to be sorry here. Now, Last Train Home is very much the melodic track in the first Street game, which I think you need that change of pace. Uh, so it's appreciative for that. A lot of people would really like the song, like at the time. Uh, yeah, I got to go with Ground Zero 2 here. So we're just gonna leave it at that. Now we have Nas with Disciple and a Wild Bunch with Harder.
Is this kind of closer than? Well, nah, nah. I think I'm gonna go with Wild Bunch here.
Hmm.
Disciple kind of outstretched the last song it was against. This one is kind of just like it's just like clearly not the better song, you know. I'm not saying it's a bad song. It's just you have those type of songs where you're like, okay, that's a good song, but is it better than that? No. So
I agree. I think harder wins here. Disciple, um, it's good for what it does. I'll give it that much. I just think that there's better Nas stuff here. This is like the best that Wild Bunch has to offer. And that's not a like an insult to them at all. Like this is a fantastic song. So if that's what it takes to knock down Disciple, then sure, we'll go with harder here. Now we have Rock with I Am Rock, and then Killer Mike with Rap Is Dead again.
hmm. Which one would you take on this? I want to hear your opinion on this because I'm kind of like toss up with these two.
So I Am Rock is found in other uh, games too. I don't really remember it for a Street 2 game. I remember I Am Rock for Need for Speed Most Wanted. So for that measurement, I'm not gonna say that it's the best Street 2 kind of rock rap song because I think MLP is trying to do that really well. Rap is Dead. I For right now, I don't have a problem with it going on. Again, we can see this song again, and I think I have a better opinion about it at that time. But for right now, what we said about like the vibe of the first Street game, this one does it better here. I think that I Am Rock is just a little bit too generic in terms of like what it's about in order to fit this kind of game. So
Yeah.
Rap is Dead, I think it does fit here though. Now Ray Cash Bump My Music versus Baby D is going down.
I told you what was happening this round. Not that we all know where this is going.
So you're taking this one. I think there's a better version of the song found here. Right, like I think if we're going off of what would you say about like the beat itself?
What for it's going down and bumping.
Yeah.
Um, I like it. I think for me the beats are kind of I wouldn't say the same, but they kind of are you can get along with it. You can ride with it. It's just I like Baby D for more of where how the song came out and just what game it was in for me. And I've also been listening to the song for a while on game days. So yeah.
Sure. I've actually been listening to my music more. And I'm glad that it only took now for me to like eventually lose out a favor of me just a little bit. But I remember like making school projects and having this like instrumental version of my music as like the background of like whatever thing I was presenting. So I always had some good times with this one. I'm okay to leave it here though, for it's going down. I think the energy that everyone provides here, um, I think you really can't match it with this one. Um, so sure, I'll let it go through here. Now we have Young One, DMX, and everyone else with Tear It Up, and then Acceptance with Too Far. I think Lil Flip is also in here too. Yeah.
Which one do you think fits the game? Well, their game better.
Well, this is both Street 2. Tear it up. I think you can have a better personal experience within Too Far. Don't get me wrong.
Because I remember
I'm
saying
glad it's there so I can figure it out and discover them.
yeah. Because I
But
remember Too Far was kind of like the song that I said kind of like hit me more. It kind of connected with me more. But Tear It Up is also a song where it's like that song. If there was any, there's like the like I said, 90% of the playlist, well, 95% of Street 2's playlist is good. But there's like 5 or 6 songs where you're like, yeah, they definitely like this song is like picture perfect for what Street 2 was supposed to be or what it was.
is In Too Far something you want to save?
Yeah, most definitely.
So you're fine with letting Tear It Up go?
Yeah.
All right then. I'm glad that one worked out for you.
Yeah.
Now we have Sum 41 with No Reason and then Fuel with Quarter.
I'm gonna rock, paper, scissors this in my head. Let's go quarter.
So, Quarter, I was telling him before, it's like, hey, you can find this game, you can find this song here. You can also find it in Need for Speed Underground. I don't know if you can find it anywhere else, but yeah, I always love jamming to Quarter here. Um, I have a strong appreciation for No Reason. I think that Street 2 works really well for this game, or like really well for this song. Quarter here, it's so weird because I've listened to other Fuel songs later on, and they sound completely different now. Like they don't sound like this heavy, this like they're almost corn like with their guitars and with their bass. So I love the vibe of Quarter. I have no problem letting it go here. It's just, what do we think about No Reason though? Exiting right now.
Mm, don't get me wrong, it's a good song. I just I like I don't know. I just kind of like quarter better. It's more of not more of like what's the better song. It's just what better fits me in most of my moods. You know.
Yeah, here's the thing. I will if I had to listen to both of these songs and then close my eyes, like what do I imagine? With No Reason, I imagine doing something else. With Quarter, I imagine going through like the auto selection of NFL Street and just like trying to pick my players in a random pickup game.
Man, you're making me
So it's
missing.
like this song has not only given me that feeling of like purposeful nostalgia, but it's stayed that way for so long. Like even right now, this is like a 20-year-old song, and yet this does not feel like it at all. So I'm going to let it go.
Let's do it.
Now we have The Explosion with No Revolution versus Wild Bunch with Our Life.
Mm,
I think
hmm.
both of these songs are found in other games too.
I'm not sure what games, but they do sound
I
like
think
the
this one
songs
was
that
like
have like
NBA. I think this was like NBA 2005. And then this was like a racing game that this was a part of.
now they do both have the diversity to stretch into other songs. Um, for me, I would probably go with Our Life.
Yeah, I mean, I like No Revolution, but it kind of fits in that middle section of the selection of songs that Street 2 provides. Our Life is also like a really good song from our bunch, like we just talked about. So no problem with getting that one here. Now we have Executioners with Get With It, and then Sam Ransom, They Go the Neighborhood.
Get with it.
Sure. Uh, Sam Ransom like did a revision of There Go the Neighborhood. Um, that revision is not found in the game, so I can't grade it as such. But it's got better guitars, it's got a better drop to it, it's got more energy to it. Like he knew what he wanted with the song, but I don't know if he like didn't have the capability to make it at the time. And so like when he remastered it, it got so much better of a song. Cause this one's like very bare bones. And I don't know why. Um so yeah. Get with it, I think is easy here. Because this is not the best representation of that song. But it's not in the game, so I can't grade it as such. So now we have Raised Fist with Perfectly Broken, and then Korn and Franchise Boys coming undone with it, both from Street 3.
Let's go. Let's go. Mm, let me remember why I said I like coming undone with it more.
You're going with this one?
Yeah, yeah.
I have really fond memories of Perfectly Broken here, too. What do you think about the singing?
I like
Like
it.
kind of voice.
I like it, but it kind of like it kind of it. How do I say it? It. Hmm. It kind of loses me for like 30 seconds of the song. I can't remember when, but like maybe 20 or 30 seconds in the song, it kind of loses me. And then it gets me back on board, and then I'm good.
Yeah, because here's the thing with Raised Fist, I don't know who the singer is, but I listened to him and I'm like, dude, clear your throat, please. He sounds so dry.
Like he needs
And like when you
water.
listen to it and then you're like, you go to the verse and it's pretty much just his voice with like a little bass line going underneath it. That's probably where it loses you. Because if you don't like his voice at all, then you can't get into the song.
I probably couldn't listen to that for too long.
So I'm only thinking about like, do I want to save it? Because I think that the rest of the band, like, it keeps it up so that I'm always entertained whenever I listen to it. But coming undone with it, this is like the ultimate Street 3 song. If you want to think about like what it wanted to do and the mashup that it wanted to create. So yeah, I'm gonna go with that one. Now we have Korn again with Nas, Play Me, and then Papa Roach with Stop Look and Start Seeing.
Hmm. Now, what song do they? Huh. That should be a pretty good one. Whatever song goes next. Um, which one do you think is like a better fit for the game? Like just in general.
I'm gonna say this real quick. Fun fact. Not too long ago, probably like 2 weeks ago, I typically have Thursday as my day off, and then I get busy doing something else with the home. And that one day off of work that I had, the singer of Papa Roach came to give us a visit.
Wow.
And I was like, our other my coworker got a picture with him and everything. Like, I couldn't tell you for the life of me who this person looked like who the singer looked like at all. Like, anybody would pass off as a Papa Roach singer in my head. So the fact that like a fan of him was recognizing him at work, like, this guy's just out here just doing his job, and then just like, I don't think he came off as like, oh hey, I'm the singer of Papa Roach, by the way. Do you recognize me? Like, I don't think he was that kind of person. So yeah, it was a really good experience. Too bad I wasn't there to see it, because I would have been like, dude, I've been listening to you for 20 years, and this is like one of the songs as to why, you know? So, now we have one Korn song here. What? I don't know if this is allowed, but I'm just going to let you compare in your mind what is the better Korn featuring song is, because if that's the matchup we're going to have, then we're going to have to think about it ahead of time. It's just kind of weird how this.
It's probably not this one, because Nas kind of.
Because apparently we could be comparing Korn to Korn.
Yeah. To be honest, Nas kind of ruined. I'm gonna say ruined, but he kind of made that song go from like a 9.8 to a 8.5. Stop Looking kind of just, it's good beat, good flow. I feel like it can contend with Korn. I'll decide when it gets to that round, but I feel like it could contend better than Play Me.
Yeah, I mean, I like the hook for Stop Looking Start Seeing. That's not actually the hook, in case if you're wondering. It's just kind of like in between. There's like a breakdown. So yeah, I do think it's weird how I will hear a Papa Roach song, because there's this one, there's obviously Last Resort, and then there's a couple other ones of which we can probably find out later on in other games. But it's like, he doesn't sound the same, and that's really cool how he's able to change his voice to accommodate like the sound that they're trying to make for that one specific song. So I do like that. I can't really say the same thing for Nas. Like, I like the idea of them being there together, because it works way better than like a Nickelback featuring Flo Rida kind of thing, you know? Which that actually happened, by the way. And I'm not even talking good Nickelback. I'm talking like late in their career, trying to save themselves, and like Flo Rida was in the same studio as them, and so he was like, "Hey, I want to get in a song."
Just an effort.
Yeah, when you think about it in that sense, yeah, Nas and Korn, they were like a married couple in compared to the other example. But even then, like, they still have their kind of problems here. I like I said, if we're going to compare it later with the other song, I think this one would lose anyways. So I'm gonna let Papa Roach get the win here. Now we have Lamb of God Redneck with Drowning Pool Step Up. I'm just gonna go ahead and say it right now. It's Redneck. Yeah. It's not even close.
Yeah. I was wondering what
if you're a fan of Lamb of God, then again, I respect you a lot, because this was like one of the songs that, like, okay, yeah, I need to start paying attention to these people. Have you looked at their music video for this song?
No.
All right, let me describe it to you. So it's a little girl's birthday party, and their parents, they want to have like a wholesome gathering. They want to have some music going on in the background. And then they're like, oh, hey, here's a nice, welcoming Christian band. It's called Lamb of God. Let's go ahead and give them a call. And then we'll be a part of their girl's birthday party. And out comes this tour bus with all the members. And then they're like setting up their things. They're just like destroying this entire little girl's birthday party. And then she is just having the time of her life. Because I guess she like hated the parents and hated everyone else about it, and they just represented what she wanted to do to the entire event. It is so fun. Um, it doesn't match the song at all, but I just love it so much. How they're able to have fun with the song in multiple ways.
It helps when you have good music videos to kind of add on to the music itself or the song itself.
Yeah, with Drowning Pool, I would be like, hey, no, Drowning Pool is not a one hit wonder. They're not just they're the let the bodies hit the floor group. No, like they have other good music, and Step Up is like one of the first ones I'll I'll let people listen in order to defend them. Um, like they don't get enough credit for everything else that they make. Lamb of God is also another one. It's like, no, I love them. I've loved them for a long time. This was like one of my all time favorites growing up, so I'm gonna give that one the easy pass. Now we have Exhibit with Hey Now, Mean Muggin, and then Feng Sai Yu with Nothing to Lose. This one is another exclusive one. It's like what you'll always hear the first time you boot up Street 3. This is an exclusive. It's like a minute and 40 seconds. There's not an extended version of the song. I almost didn't know if I could include it, but because it was way too short of a song. It's almost like an introduction to the game. Um, but yeah, how do we want to think about this?
Um, Now, like I said, I'm always gonna respect a person that has their own anything in a game: team, character, build, shoe. Well, no, I can't say shoe because there are a lot of shoes in sports games. But character, team, face ID, anything like that. But you're also for nothing to lose. You also have you're the startup. So whenever someone says, "Oh, let's play Street 3 10 years ago or 12 years ago," they they hear you as soon as they boot up the game. So I can't really say either game doesn't fit because they're both literally main. I could say main characters of the game if you get what I'm saying. Um,
Sure.
but for me, and this is probably just gonna have to go on which one I like better, which would probably be nothing to lose.
I do think there's a version of the song that I would really want to have with me. Like if I can get the full version of this song with everything, because there's a couple of other like awkward cuts when I'm trying to like get into the song. So I'm like, what are they saying? And then I can't figure it out because it's not like it's not released anywhere else. So it's really weird how this is the only representation. I don't even know who Funk Yu is. You know, like this person just came out of nowhere, had this song, was the intro, and that was it. With Hey Now, I love how Exhibit was like, oh, hey, yeah, you know what you know about me. I'm a self-made man from poverty. I I was coming from poverty. Now I pimp rides, lifestyles, and companies. You know, I love that he just represents himself in this song, and therefore represents himself in the game a lot too. Because if you can have the experience of playing his team and the final thing, and then having this song as you do it, I think that's a lot more fun to add to it. Whereas, like I said, with the second and third game, the menu music is the same as the game music. So whenever it like recycles itself on the jukebox, you will hear this song as you play it too. And that one just doesn't have the same pop to me.
I get the songs like that too. It's just You know, it. I don't know. A lot of these songs, now that we're like kind of finishing up with most of them, it's kind of like which one do you just feel like one either fits the game better, or is the better song, or both, to be honest, or both.
So what would you say here? Then? Still going with
Uh,
nothing to lose.
yeah.
If that's the case, I'm gonna go ahead and save. Hey now. So we both have 3 songs that we've saved so far. All right, now we have Bishop Lamont with "I'm a Soldier" versus Rob Zombie, "American Witch."
I think I chose on this one earlier before we even got to it. Like as soon as we got it into the next round. Um, this one I'm gonna have to say I'm a soldier. Yeah, yeah, American, which can go on and get deleted.
Yeah, I don't know if I said this already, but when the Street 3 trailer was out, "American Witch" was the trailer music for that one.
I think you told me the trailer music for Street
The
Two.
second one, yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, "American Witch" was representative of the third game when it came out too. Um, I feel like this appears somewhere else too, because I think this is another like EA exclusive song. One thing that I always love about this song is that I think at the third verse, he shouts out Eminem and then goes on to say, "I'm about to get the paper like him." And all I could think of was like, "Did you? Did you get the paper like Eminem?" Yeah, but I do think that I love the vibe of this one a little bit more than American Witch. Like I said, I don't have a problem with Rob Zombie. Um, I would support other songs before I would support this one though. With Bishop here, I like a good amount of his stuff too, and I think this one holds up well even today. The beat is a little bit kind of samey, but I think he mentions that in the first verse, like at the end of it, like oh, how every rapper will rap over the same beat 3 times, and then like that'll be their single. Uh, I like the character that Bishop is in his song here. One thing I will also say is that when you listen to his hook, there's a background voice, I think, on your left ear that like oversays everything that he's saying. Uh, like can't quit. I'm in too far now, and then like the now, you'll just hear someone else going now. I gotta make it through somehow.
I think I actually
I
remember
don't
that.
know how I feel about that. What'd you say?
I said I think I actually remember that playing the game.
Yeah. Sorry. Quit. I'm in too far now. Gotta make it through somehow. I can't think that that's Bishop, so that's gotta be someone else. And for that, I laugh about it, so I'm gonna love it. So that gets a pass there. Now we have from first to last, latest play Atticus Ross remix versus with Lil Flip. What's my name?
I'm gonna let you have this one first. I'm gonna let you have this one first.
Okay. I was listening to our playlist that we had the other day for work, and when I got to "What's My Name," I was like on my way to go to the bank and stuff, and heading back out, and like I was just pulling up into the bank parking lot, going out, heading back over to the bank, then was done with my transaction, walked back over to the van, and then was like starting up the car again. And then I realized that What's My Name was still playing. Like this song is so long. It's like a 5 minute long or 5 minute song. And it feels every bit of 5 minutes. I I don't know what's going on about it, but it's just so slow for how everything is. Now, Lil Flip here at the time was like a really young artist. Um, so yeah, he had some other things to improve on, and I think he did. But like right here, this was like his big hit, and it just doesn't hold up the same. Latest Plague, I can still listen to it right now and have the same enjoyment that I did in 2006. So I think for how long these songs have lasted over time, What's My Name has not held up as well. And I also don't know how I feel about the they call him Little Flip every single time in the hook. This one doesn't have anything that annoys me. So, what do you say?
I'm gonna go. What's my name?
And what's your reasoning?
To be honest, this is probably one of those songs where it's just kind of like, and I think I've had like five. I've had this happen 5 times since we started the live. So I was just picking the better song that kind of like fits me and kind of like has a little diverse meaning to it. So yeah, and I just like the song to be honest. So yeah, I'm gonna go. What's my name?
This one's kind of like I wouldn't say a life story, but I think he tells a good bit of detail about himself in the song too.
Yeah.
Um, so if you want to let this one pass, then that means that I will have to save Latest Plague. I don't have a problem doing. All right, now we're getting into round 3. I don't know if I can adjust my thing here. I just have to do that. All right. All right. Now we have DJ K Slay, Who Gives a What Were You From versus Stone Sour 30-30-150.
I can't believe DJ's made it, making it to quarterfinals. That's crazy.
Looks like I'm saving Stone Sour as well.
Yeah.
Again, no problem. But I think that you have that opinion because you have not listened to this one yet. DJ K Slay and like everyone else that's a part of it, um, I really like it too. There's a lot of other verses that I like individually. Uh, I really like when 3 6 Mafia joins, like for example, you know. So that means I'm gonna save 30-30-150, and then next time when we do this, I want to hear your opinion on this one too.
Okay.
All right, now we have Ground Zero with another MOP versus Wild Bunch with Harder.
Wild Bunch is. I think I like Ground Zero more.
I think Harder's found in another game too. I can't say if Grounded Zero is. You know, I'm gonna join you. Like I said, I love the vibe, love the mashup going on here. I really like this one too, by the way. But just not enough to save it because I'm running. I can't be using the save button too often here. Do you want to save it?
Nah.
Like I said, it might be in another series in another bracket. So, all right, now we have another Street One matchup. Killer Mike Rap is dead versus Baby D. It's going down.
It's going down.
Okay, I think Killer Mike. Uh, his beat is just it doesn't hold up with him. It doesn't hold up with this one. It's very recognizable. It's that you know, that kind of stuff. That's like nothing else though. So if you can't get into that one, then yeah, you can't get into anything. Uh, again, I think it's again with the mashups, you know, where it's like the multiple artists joining in on a track. That's what's like really amplifying a song. So sure, we'll let this one go through. Now we have, speaking of another one, Young One, Tear It Up, and Fuel Quarter.
Quarter.
You know what? I'm not gonna say anything. I wasn't expecting you to join on this side of things. So, sure. I like Tear It Up. I like DMX's hook here. I think it gets just about anybody hyped. So how come this one doesn't do it for you when the other ones do?
It's kind of.
I will say the second verse. I don't know who says that one. That one, like, nope. I'm sorry.
I can do it.
So yeah, what's going on with this one? In your opinion?
I don't know. I think I just like Quarter as a song, like as a whole. I don't know. It like as like Tear It Up. I like the song. There's maybe a verse or two that I'm like I don't really get, but I like the song as a whole. Quarter, I kind of just like I just like the song entirely. Like I can rock along from 0 0. So how long was this song? Like 4 minutes?
I think it's like just no. I don't think it's just over 3.
Yeah. I don't know why I was about to say like 4:15. I want first at first I was about to say like 3 minutes and 40 seconds, and then I quickly went from like 3:30 to 4:15, and I don't know why.
I can look it up right now. And 3:41 is how long the song is.
So I was
It was approaching 4 minutes.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, sure. Well, I'll go ahead and let this one go through. Now we have Wild Bunch with Our Life versus Executioners. Get with it. Cypress Hills is a song here too. I just got to mention that.
Get with it. Our life. Get with it. Our life. Get with it. No. Our life. Our life.
Why? What's going on in your head?
This is like a toss up, and it's just whichever one. Like I wouldn't say pick your poison, but pick your preference. And Our Life is more of a preference for me than Get With It.
Okay. Because from the same song or like from the same game, if it's personal preference, but then the other one feels like it's a better song for the game, what do you think?
Now, see,
Like I said, like
though,
executioners. I mean, you said what you said about exhibit executioners. They have like 3 people on their team.
yeah, because I have been kind of going for what like kind of fits the song. I mean, not the song, fits the
So
game.
I can let you save our life because I
Yeah,
think it's another one that's worth saving.
yeah,
But then
let's
we
do
can
that.
let Get With It go through here. Uh, so yeah, we'll do that. I'm gonna do a little something else because my headphones are about to die. Real quick though. So just bear with me just a moment. I'll let you talk about this matchup. Corn for featuring them franchise both coming undone with it versus Pop Roach Stop Look and Start Seeing. I'm gonna go ahead and take care of my audio issue.
Okay. Um, for this one, it's also kind of another toss up. Of course, with Papa Roach. Um, I don't know, cause with both of these songs, it's they both fit the game, so that's one. They both do fit the game. They both have very good beats, and they both have pretty good flows from what I've heard from both of the songs the couple of times I listened to them. For me, this is this is probably a hard. This is probably the hardest one we've had in round three because they both pretty much equal up with each other as far as everything I want.
Really,
Yeah.
I will say this. I think of Street 3. I think of Coming Undone with it. I think of Street 2. I don't think of Stop Look and Start Seeing.
Yeah. Like it kind of crosses your brain, but that's not like the first song. You're like, oh yeah, like you know.
And even if I'm just going all right, well, let me just slim it down. I go to like Street 2 rock songs. This one's still not necessarily the first one that comes to mind.
For me, yeah, yeah, I'm gonna have to go with coming undone with it.
Is Stop Look and Start Seeing something you want to save?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's probably gonna be the last out of the last. Yeah, probably one of the last two songs I saved.
Whew. Well, in typical fashion, why does the truth always have to hurt? All right, now we have Lamb of God Redneck versus Funk Sayu with nothing to lose. Again, another easy
I'll
matchup for
take
me
it.
here.
Yeah, Regnet.
I'm sorry. You're just not long enough of a song in order for me to like compare you to much else. So especially like, dude, this is one of my favorite metal songs I've ever heard of in a game in general. Like, like this
Yeah.
one's a powerhouse, just to be found here in this Third Street game. So that's what I got to think about that. Now we have Bishop Lamont with "I'm a Soldier" versus Lil Flip. What's my name?
Um, I'm a soldier.
So you got "What's My Name" from the first round or from the last round.
Yeah.
What about it changed here?
Nothing really. It's just this song kind of fits better. Like the matchup kind of fits better for both because they both do fit the game. Well, yeah, the game very well. And I don't know. I kind of just like I'm a soldier, like not a lot better, just a tad bit better.
Because I said what I said about Lil Flip, but
Yeah.
yeah, I also really enjoy I'm a Soldier. And like Bishop says, ain't no options. I got to win. All right, now we're gonna go into the quarterfinals, right? Because that was the very last one here. Yep. So now I'm gonna lower this one here. Now we have PJ Slay, who goes where you from versus MLP Ground Zero.
Sorry, DJ, you gotta go. I'm gonna go with Ground Zero.
Ooh. I know you said you wanted to not rely on saving everything right now, but does this one count? Because this one's won a lot of rounds.
Yeah. I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait.
All right. Because I'm not saving it either. Which means Ground Zero moves on. Now we have Baby D, It's Going Down versus Fuel Quarter.
Fuel is just baby. It's going down. Just doesn't it doesn't hit more than fuel, or does it? Now that I think about it, does it?
It's going down, down, down tonight. Uh-oh.
Because that fits any street game perfectly. I'm not gonna lie. That is going down really fits 1, 2, and 3 perfectly.
You know what? From some reason, I don't think it fits the third game.
And that may be the
The
least
third
fun.
one has its own kind of vibe.
Yeah.
And I think that's why people kind of get tuned out of it.
But 1 and 2 most definitely.
Sure.
Most definitely. I
mean, they were both made in the same year. So, like, the first Street game was released in January 2004. And I want to say Street 2 released in December 2004. So, of course, it's going to feel really similar. The third Street game was like mid to late 2006 because I know they had to wait for like the Super Bowl and stuff to be finished. Well, no, I think it was just before the season, right? So just before the 2006 season. And can I just say, I don't think that if you wanted to make a video game, a football video game, and you had to choose a year that which you would represent, I don't know if anybody would choose the year 2005. I'm sorry. So, if you remember, that was the year in which the Steelers beat the Seahawks in the Super Bowl, right? That was Super Bowl 40. You might remember the AFC Championship game, who the Steelers beat. Do you?
I remember the Super Bowl. I barely remember the AFC Championship game.
Because I think more people remember that championship game than the actual Super Bowl itself. So it might be like a rare instance of like it flipping. Because that was the one in which it was the Colts game. Jerome Bettis was about to put the game away with a game-saving or like a game-sealing touchdown, but then fumbled at the goal line, and then like a Colts defender was running away, and then Ben Roethlisberger was like having to like do this weird pursuit, going back and forth, and then like later like shoe tackled the corner, and then the Colts drove down a little bit further, used Mike Vanderjagt as a kicker, and then he missed it completely like to the right. So that was a more memorable experience for the Steelers. But then again, like they faced the Seahawks in a very weird Super Bowl game. Do you remember who the Seahawks beat in the championship game?
Which one?
The 2005 one.
Now, if you would have said 2013,
13? Yeah, that was 49ers easily.
Yeah, and 14.
I'm going to give you 10 chances to come up with the opponent of the championship game for the Steelers or for the Seahawks.
Cardinals.
You have 9 chances left.
Bears.
8 chances left. Good
Jesus.
guess though, because they went for the next year. What'd you say?
Okay. Uh, Eagles.
You have 7 chances left.
Okay.
Now, I also thought of like Eagles right away because they were in the last year's Super Bowl, so they had to have been good enough to be here this one. I later checked, and the Seahawks faced them in the regular season. They whooped them 42-0. I don't know what happened there. So yeah, they were not a very fit opponent for this Seahawks team.
Um, uh, Panthers.
Wow. All right, that was the championship game.
What?
Yeah. I was gonna give you bonus points if you like figured out the divisional one, which was Washington. But it was like that was their road to the Super Bowl.
Washington Redskins and the
Carolina
North
Panthers.
Wow.
None of them were either particularly close games, but they weren't like super high scoring either. So I don't know what's going on. But it's like that was the season in which Street 3 had to exist. So I'm like, yeah, of course it was going to feel like a weird game. They had to follow up a weird season. So yeah, just my own little banter. I'm gonna go with quarter as well, just to kind of finish this off. So if we're good here, nothing else going on here.
Nope.
All right. Next we have Executioners with Get With It versus Korn, Damn Franchise Boys with Coming Undone With It. Which with it do you want?
Let's take Get With It.
Yeah, I think this one has more better cohesion. With Coming Undone With It, it's 2 songs trying to fit together. With Cypress Hill joining Executioners, that just feels right to me. So, yeah, I got no problem with moving this one on. But yeah, I really like Coming Undone. I think it's one of the best Korn songs. Lean With It, Rock With It. I think it's like the one that made them Franchise Boys famous for the time. But yeah, I think that got lost over time, whereas Get With It still holds up.
Yeah.
Now we have Lamb of God Redneck versus Bishop Lamont. I'm a Soldier.
I'm a Soldier.
Yeah, I can't agree.
You think Rednecks is it because it fits the game better, or is it just a better song in your opinion?
Now that's a good question. If it's personal preference, then I would just easily save it here. Because then I wouldn't have like the urge for it to continue and for it to win. But the fact that it's gone through so many rounds, and like I like I'm a Soldier, but I don't think that it holds up in terms of like the energy and the feeling of like playing football as Redneck.
You might be, yeah.
Because like you have other rap songs here that are like in the contention.
True.
If you remove Redneck, then there's pretty much nothing left other than Quarter. And I think that if Quarter and Redneck had to face, I'm still sticking with Redneck.
True. You know what? I was never really thinking of it like that. Let's go right now. Let's go. You're one persuasive person. I will give you that. You are one persuasive.
So what do you
person.
think of I'm a Soldier then?
it was just I was kind of going off of muscle memory at this point, but not at, like because I wasn't really thinking about the whole turn, like the whole semifinals and then finals that we got. But now that I think about it, it kind of would make putting Redneck above it. It kind of would make this a lot more interesting now that I think about it.
But is this something you want to save?
No, I feel I'm gonna whatever song I'm gonna be on whatever song that doesn't get passed on to either the finals or wins the round is probably what I'm gonna save.
All right. So we have our semifinals going on right now. Right here, this pocket right here. Let me just do the why are you making it so weird, dude? All right. We have MLP with Ground Zero versus Fuel Quarter.
Ground zero.
Do you feel better knowing that Redneck is still around? Like,
Yeah, yeah.
because I also agree. Um, Fuel Quarter, like I said, we're gonna see it again if we go through another series of games, and that might win that one. But again, I gave it a ton of respect. I think it's really fun. I just think that Ground Zero, we talked about it being the trailer for the second game. It gives you everything that any other artist wouldn't provide here. So yeah, a lot of good things to say about this one, and it still has like a good metal, like fusion with it too. So I'm gonna go with that. And now we have Executioners Get With It versus Redneck.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go with Redneck in the finals. Let's put Redneck in the finals.
So I think with this being said, this is the last NFL Street 1 game song. Are you fine with that being like the final representative?
Yeah, that's definitely.
Yeah, so all right. Redneck moves on, which means we have a final selection. Now keep in mind this is just me and Trey going at this. Everyone's gonna have a different opinion.
Ground zero.
Ground Zero versus Redneck.
After tons of consideration and knowing who we're going to be in the finals for the last about 5 to 10 minutes, and re-listening to most of the about half of both of these songs in my head, my final decision to win the best song from the best NFL, well, one of the greatest game series of all time, NFL Street, with the first pick in the 2023 Best Song Draft, I select Ground Zero.
And with that, I save Lamb of God Redneck. And I will agree right now that Ground Zero could do it. So, looking back, how do we feel?
Feel good. I don't really feel like I made any harsh decisions. Feel like I thought about everything before doing it. Um, for our first time doing this in our first 2 hour stream, it was great.
Oh, there you have it. Ground Zero wins. I would suggest that if you were not like, if you didn't have the capabilities of playing the game and just wanted to listen to the songs, that was a part of it. I think that Ground Zero gives you a good mix of what you can expect from all three games. And it's really, really well done about how they were able to capture not only the feeling from the first game, but the feeling of the second game. And what I said about like, there's a different vibe to the third game, but Ground Zero still fit that vibe. So, just to recap, Trey, someone goes up to you and says, "Hey, I've never played NFL Street games, but I'm a really big fan of music. What's the song that you would give me to get an introduction about what I'm getting into before I play it? Is this the song that you would go with now?"
Yeah.
And you would see how, like, yeah, other people would have like a really good personal connection to another song that's found in here. We have 50 songs, so it's like, yeah, other ones are going to be bound to be enjoyable to a lot of different people. But it's like, hey, this is NFL Street. Like, this is 2004, 2005. This is the vibe, and this is like the best representation of it. So, MLP, congratulations. You won this bracket. And with that, I have a grand total of 6 songs that I've saved from this playlist, and you have a grand total of 5. Just to recap, I have saved Mace's Breathe, Stretch, Shake featuring P. Diddy. I've saved Jack Frost with This Man. I've saved Exhibit with Hey Now, Me Muggin. I've saved From First to Last, the latest played Atticus Ross remix. I've saved Stone Sour 30 30 150, and I saved Lamb of God Redneck as the final thing because I knew that this could be a contention for something else. And then Trey, you have saved BG with Getting Mines. You've saved Yin Yang Twins with Halftime. You saved Acceptance with In Too Far. You saved Wild Bunch with Our Life. And then you saved Papa Roach with Stop Looking, Start Seeing. Is there anything that you want to adjust before we close out?
Not really.
All right, so that's going to do it for us. And with that, we will see you the next time that we do this. I don't know when it's going to be. I don't know if this one will be like an off-season kind of thing, so we can just kind of get away from the football conversation. Because I really needed to do something different. And I'm glad that this was the thing to do.
Feels great.
So, with that being said, yeah. We appreciate anybody else that's listening afterwards. And we will see you next time. Hopefully, if you have a different opinion, please, comment section is always friendly. And with that, we're out of here. Peace.
Later.